One of the first video game systems that I got as a kid was the Turbo Grafx 16, and I had that with the Sega Genesis, and it was awesome. And one of the cool things, when I lived in San Jose, California, there was a friend of the family that worked at NEC, and at the time I was, like today, very into video games, and I asked him one day if there was any type of discount that I could get, and he said that there was. So I'm not exactly sure how much everything cost, but my folks for Christmas got me the Turbo Grafx 16 system and Bonk's Adventure. And down the road, the cool thing about this guy that we were friends with, we were able to get, I was able to get games for 50% off, and I got a bunch of games. And then down the road, I ended up having a summer job, and I was able to save up and purchase a CD player attachment for the Turbo Grafx 16 player, and I ended up getting tons of games, and it was pretty awesome. And later on down the road, the Turbo Duo was announced, and one of the cool things about buying my system from NEC directly is that they were constantly sending me stuff. They were sending me all types of flyers and promotions. They sent me some t-shirts for Turbo Grafx 16. They sent me a Bloody Wolf t-shirt. They sent me a Devil's Crush t-shirt. And they also sent me a Splatterhouse t-shirt. Actually, the Splatterhouse t-shirt is not very good. You might think that might be pretty awesome, but it looked nothing like the cover, and I don't think it was done by Namco. It was pretty bad. But one of these days I'll see if I can find that. These shirts are probably somewhere in my parents' garage. But anyway, the main reason why I'm talking to you today is that towards the end, after the Turbo Duo, or when the Turbo Duo was announced around that time, there was something on the back of every game manual where you get turbo points. Kind of give you guys an example. For instance, Beyond Shadowgate here. Now on the back of the manual, I'm going to actually take a picture for you guys. On the back of the manual, it says 4 points. And I believe I've seen the points range from 3 to 5 points. Most of the games that I purchased, like Bomberman 93 and Lords of Thunder and other titles, they usually had 5 points. And you might be wondering what those points were used for. Well, this is what it was used for. It's called the T2 Team Club. I just call it the Turbo Duo Club. And basically this is a club where you cut out or take the turbo points that are on the back of every one of those manuals, whether it was a Turbo Hue card or a Super CD game, and you could purchase game items with these points. I took some pictures actually of what's included. Has everything on the back here, but just go down the list. First thing that it shows that you can purchase for 100 points the turbo stick. For 60 points you could get the duo tap, and for 60 turbo points you could get the duo pad. I like in the description it says how the turbo stick is not compatible with the Turbo Duo. I guess I'm not a huge, I don't know all the history about the Turbo Grafx / Turbo Duo, but that's one of the interesting things. Also, for 80 turbo points you get a radio with headphones, and for 70 points you could get a NEC wristwatch. Other things that it showed was that you could get a 13-inch color television for 600 turbo points, a Turbo Express for 400 turbo points, and also it had some clothes you could get. You could get a Lords of Thunder t-shirt for 30 points, a Bomberman baseball cap for 30 points, which is pretty awesome, and an NEC Fanny Pack. So just to show you, I know they still sell Fanny Packs, but just to show you, Fanny Packs were pretty popular in the late 80s, early 90s. And other things it shows, you could get the Turbo Duo for 1,000 points, and you could get, and now it's funny, when the Turbo Grafx 16 was, first announced, the games or the cartridges were called Hue cards. Now, in this flyer, it's pretty awesome. It says these Hue cards are called TTI Cartridge Classics Turbo Technology. Now, there's two other things I'm actually going to show you which kind of blew my mind. For 2,000 Turbo points, you could get a Neo Geo 24-bit home advanced entertainment system with World Heroes 2. The crazy thing about this, Neo Geo, had nothing to do with Turbo Grafx 16 or Turbo Duo. The Neo Geo, was part of SNK at the time, and but what's awesome about that is that say that most of the Turbo Grafx games you have, or the Turbo Duo games you have, you get 5 points. You would have to have 400 Turbo Duo games, cut out all those points, and send them in. I don't even think there were, more than 50 games available that had the points. So anyway, I guess they were hoping for a long life cycle of the Turbo Duo, but it didn't quite happen. And the final thing I wanted to show you that's in this, it is the Laser Active by Pioneer. It played laser discs and audio CDs, and also the cool thing about this thing at the time was super expensive, because not only was it a laser disc player and it was a CD player, but also it had an optional control pack where you could play the Turbo Duo CDs, you play the Hue cards, but also there's an optional control pack where you could play, I believe, Sega Genesis games and Sega CD games. So it was pretty much an all-in-one, just amazing system, but no one had it because it was extremely expensive, and I don't think they made a whole lot of them. So anyway, unfortunately, one of the biggest regrets that I have is I sold my entire Turbo Duo and Turbo Grafx 16 game collection, and I have regretted it ever since. So anyway, I still though have some of the memorabilia, and I'll have to dig up those shirts one of these days. So anyway, guys, I know a lot of you guys are probably saying, lots of games, Jimmy, what is this all about? But just mainly to show you that, tell you about this club, for many of you guys that are fans of the Turbo Duo and the Turbo Grafx 16. But if you have any comments, questions, please send them my way, and I'll talk to you later.